Thank you, William. Thank you for having me here. Well, just to start with, it seemed that in Southern Africa, the problem was largely that there wasn't sharing of experiences, particularly from the civil society organizations, so the communities, the individuals in respective neighborhoods, sharing their own thoughts, views, perspectives with governments in Southern Africa of how perhaps governments could improve their lives. So this was, in a sense, the gist, the idea behind the formation of the Southern Africa Trust. Lastly, the issue, from my own thinking and from literature, it would seem that we haven't been able in Africa, in Southern Africa in particular, to reduce poverty as much as we should have. Because of some of the policies that are not benefiting the people, and this is largely because some of these policies are influenced by external views that are not really fully cognizant of the dynamics of Southern Africa or the peoples of Southern Africa. Primarily, there are certain dynamics, there are certain specific, societal issues that other people may not fully understand, or the way of life in Africa or in certain parts of Africa. Therefore, it's necessary, it seems to me, that the local people, the very people that are suffering, are supposed to benefit from these policies, should have a voice instead of getting an external hand or an external influence, indicating how they could benefit. So I think that's just number one, that it's important to be cognizant of the way of life, the dynamics. So I think in Southern Africa, the trust is filling a gap, as I mentioned earlier, that has been existing for a long time. In its very early years, it's only about 3 years old in operation, in real operation, but it's been able to connect different governments with civil society formations of those countries, first of all in addressing, poverty policies or policies that are aimed at reducing poverty, the so-called poverty reduction strategies and programs in Africa. So giving a voice, or in a sense, sort of improving the content of those strategies and policies so they can benefit people better. So that, I think, is one of the accomplishments. And then there's a whole variety of initiatives that are very specific that the Trust has undertaken, such as, giving grants to small businesses, say small farming, individuals or organizations, so that, we can learn from these cases, some of them really good cases of, farming at a substance, very small level. So there are quite a number of these things that I think it has achieved. And I could talk a bit about South Africa in particular, where I think the South Africa Trust has done an incredible job, where, government has been for a long time, more or less, working alone. And it seems to have realized about a year ago that it was not addressing poverty sufficiently. And starting from there, the Trust, other institutions collaborating with government and bringing in expertise from other governments in Southern Africa, but also the voice from local levels, from the people themselves or their representatives. It seems that there are some improvements in that area as well.